All right, 7:59. Good day, New York. It is Wednesday, February 7th. I'm Lori Stokes.
I'm Rosanna Scotto. Thank you for joining us. And we are on snowflake patrol this morning. A storm is pushing into the tri-state area. It's bringing a mix of rain, sleet, and snow to much of the area. The snow will linger to the north and west of the city. Mike Woods is checking the radar. He is on the case with details coming up.
Also, city officials say that ER visits for the flu have surged to the highest level in several years. And they are reminding New Yorkers that it's still not too late to get the flu shot.
Lori. Federal investigators are looking into what caused a pair of Amtrak cars to separate while the high-speed Acela train was en route to Penn Station. Luckily, nobody was hurt.
And jurors in the trial of the drug lord known as El Chapo will be kept anonymous. A federal judge making that decision to keep jurors from feeling harassed or intimidated.
All right.
Probably a wise decision.
I know. I think so. Mike, meanwhile, was jumping up and down because, you know, he went out on the limb, said it was going to snow, wintry mix this morning. There was not
she
a
really gives it to you, doesn't she?
Really,
Up to about 10 minutes ago.
I was like, that's it. I'm going out there before my blood pressure goes any higher. Rosanna Scotto was really good for that. But anyway, there are the first few flakes of snow flying here in the city.
You have been vindicated.
Check the Twitter, check the Instagram. I got pictures of like 2 flakes on a dirty car top in front of Fox 5, so it works. All right, so the snow is coming in. Now, here's the deal. In some places, it's actually picked up quickly, like Sussex, like around Morris County as you head down toward Philadelphia. But look what also is happening. It's changing over from the snow to that wintry mix, if not rainfall, in places like near Philly. And it's going to happen for us here in the city as well. Our temps are in a very minimal range. This is a live look across, and as you can see, it kind of comes and goes as far as the visibility with the city, but the snow's trying to get going out there. Temps sitting at 31 degrees, but as time goes on, I'm thinking warmer air is being pulled back up because the wind direction is starting to change, starting to come in more from the southeast. That pulls up the warmer air. We have winter weather advisories posted for the purple shaded areas. That's where you usually get a minor amount of snow and or ice accumulation. That's happening for a little while before it changes over to rain, but in the pink shaded areas, it'll probably stay as snow for a longer period of time, and that's why your snow totals could come up to around 4 to 7 inches, but most of us get less than that, but it still could be quite sloppy. And in fact, once this does change over to rain, heavier rain later comes for us later on this afternoon and this evening, and that's when it gets really wet during the evening commute, and that also could slow you down almost as bad as if we had a heavier snow, but that's not the case. It is going to be heavier rain in the afternoon. So your temps are going to be climbing up today. 34 by 11 a.m., 37 degrees is your 2 p.m. temp, and our high for the day is about 40, and it is going to be rainfall as we head toward the evening commute, and then it dries out, and it will be quite cold tomorrow morning. We drop down to a low of 27, and the next chance of rain will be here Saturday into Sunday. Okay, let's get over to Inez and see what the commute is doing, how things are changing. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike. When traveling over in Westchester, watch out for a flipped over car on the Springbrook. This one is northbound by Jackson Avenue that has at least 1 lane closed. All lanes are subject to closure. Right before Jackson Avenue, you have that problem. No problems to the Bronx Road Parkway or the Sawmill. Over in New Jersey, Route 80 eastbound jammed approaching Two Bridges Road, exit 52. 2 lanes are blocked with an accident around there. No problems on 280 or Route 3. Let's go to our cameras. The FDR Drive. Well, traffic's jammed this morning, so there's an accident on the northbound side, actually, over by the 20th here. That's blocking. You could see a couple lanes, 1 lane getting through, and on the southbound side behind the building, there's also a lane closed. So heavy delays northbound and southbound approaching the 20s on the drive. Over on the George Washington Bridge, I keep making that mistake. GWB upper level, delays have cleared with all the school closings and delays and people, I guess, not going to work. Traffic very light this morning heading towards the GWB. Same goes for the Lincoln Tunnel. It's about a 30-minute delay. Holland 10 to 15. Trains running on or close to schedule. Street cleaning rules are in effect today citywide. Lori and Rosanna.
Wow, that GW Bridge, there is no traffic.
Exactly.
All right, and things are pretty clear over here. This is a road in Westchester County, Ossining on Hudson.
Yeah, see, a few flakes are starting to fall. A number of schools are already closed in anticipation of the snow that's coming down throughout the tri-state area. But we'll keep you posted as we keep a gauge on when it comes down.
All right, let's go to New Jersey right now.
Fox 5's Robert Moses is live for us in Sparta with a look. How's it going there, Robert?
Well, Lori and Rosanna, I have to give Mike and Sam kudos because they really hit the timing very accurately. The snow started to fall maybe around 45 minutes or so ago, and it's coming down quite steadily here up in Sussex County. We're expecting anywhere between 4 and 7 inches, according to Mike's forecast. And if it continues to fall at this clip for several hours, that certainly will be close to it. The snow that's already on the ground, we should note, was here before, so we're basically just freshening it up a little bit. It is coming down pretty steadily here, and again, there's a sort of a coating on the road at this point. Schools are closed up here in Sparta, so that's good news. We don't have a whole lot of company here on the roads, and once there is accumulating snow that falls, the road crews will not have too much company, and they can get out and clear it away. Also, non-essential state employees are operating on a 2-hour delay this morning. That's meant to, again, give these crews time to get the precipitation cleared away. Fortunately, the snow has really held off until the latter part of the morning rush hour, and hopefully people will be to work by the time the bulk of the snow starts to fall, and then once they have to get home, the road crews will be able to get it cleared away. Lori, Rosanna?
All right, Robert, listen, be very careful, and either you need to get the windshield wipers fixed or you need Beano. I'm not sure which one.
I think we need new wipers. We need new
good.
wipers.
Yeah.
Phew. All right.
All right, he's trying to be careful, right? Get that snow out of the way. It is 8:06, and we have a tragedy to tell you about in Queens. A little 11-year-old boy died while he was trying to save his friend from a frozen pond. Sky Fox HD was over the scene in Forest Park. 11-year-old Anthony Perez and 12-year-old Juan Perez were playing near that pond, and Perez reportedly went into the ice, and then he fell through. So his friend Perez then jumped in trying to save him. He was able to push him back to land, but then he went under the ice himself. Perez wasn't pronounced dead at Jamaica Hospital. In a Facebook post, and the fire department implored folks to stay off the ice.
All right, the NYPD needs your help in catching 3 men wanted in a series of robberies in Brooklyn and Queens. The most recent happened Monday in Rockaway Parkway in Canarsie. The first of 9 robberies happened January 23rd in Breezy Point. Police say the robbers struck 4 times on January 28th. So far, they've gotten away with nearly $4,000. Do they look familiar to you? If you have any information, please call Crime Stoppers, 1-800-577-TIPS.
Westchester County is the latest to file a lawsuit against opioid manufacturers and distributors, claiming that the companies intentionally misled the public about the dangers of drugs. Also claiming that their actions have led to significant spikes in budgets for local law enforcement, emergency care, addiction prevention, and other treatment programs. The complaint targets more than 30 companies, including the makers of oxycodone and fentanyl. In the past, some of those companies have given us statements denying similar accusations, saying that their drugs are FDA approved and offering their help to solve the opioid crisis.
All right, we've been talking about the flu epidemic, and as you know, the deadly flu outbreak has lots of people flooding the emergency rooms at the hospitals and outpatient clinics. They say 6.5% of all visits are flu-related, and to put it in perspective, that means that's 30% higher than last flu season. It's the highest rate it's been in 4 years. The Consumer Affairs Department is reminding you about the paid sick leave law. It allows you to stay home without worrying about being penalized for missing days of work.
If you actually tried to take your sick day and you got fired, or your employer, I don't know, disciplined you for some reason, right? Or you file a complaint with us, we investigate retaliation cases. We go after employers and we find them.
Meanwhile, 2 children in the city have died from the flu-related illnesses so far. The Health Commissioner, Mary Bassett, says it's not too late to get the flu shot. Lori.
Well, lawmakers. Thank you, Rosanna, for the gentle reminder. Lawmakers in Albany are working on legislation that would mandate new child restraint packaging for toxic laundry pods. They say those bright colors and the squishy texture and the smell make the pods appealing to young children. And an internet trend called Tide Pods Challenge involves videos of people putting them in their mouth. A lot of teenagers doing this, making many teenagers sick.
All right, there was another terrifying mishap for Amtrak.
Yeah, and a Acela train heading to Penn Station from Washington actually split apart as it sped at 125 miles an hour. It's just the very latest in a recent rash of accidents, and Fox 5's Liz Dahlem is live now at Penn Station with more for us. Liz?
Good morning to you, Lori and Rosanna. That train was set to stop here at New York's Penn Station, but again, that accident took place in Maryland. Those two train cars split where passengers were able to walk through that area. Thankfully, no one was doing that at the time in which they came apart. That train was traveling 125 miles per hour at the time, and you can add this to the long list of issues Amtrak has been having over the past week. Acela Express Train 2150 was making its way from Washington, D.C. to Boston when a mechanical failure occurred in Maryland, causing two cars to break apart around 7 o'clock yesterday morning. 52 passengers had to be transferred to another train. Thankfully, there were no injuries. It's just the latest black eye for Amtrak, marking the third incident in the past week. We've also learned Amtrak engineer Brandon Bastian will stand trial for the deadly 2015 derailment in Philadelphia. A judge reinstated involuntary manslaughter and reckless endangerment charges after federal safety investigators determined Bastian was distracted when the Washington to New York train rounded a curve too fast, causing it to derail and killed 8 people. After a 16-month-long investigation, the NTSB says sleep apnea was determined to be a factor in the deadly 2016 New Jersey Transit crash in Hoboken and the LIRR crash in Brooklyn last year. In September of 2016, one woman was killed when an NJ Transit train jumped a bumper blocker in Hoboken Terminal and hit a wall. And more than 100 people were hurt when an LIRR train overshot a platform last January at Atlantic Terminal. NTSB investigators say both engineers were undiagnosed with a sleeping disorder. The Obama administration took the first steps to require better screening for sleep apnea, but the Trump administration withdrew that proposal last year.
I'm extremely disturbed that the FRA has withdrawn this sleep apnea screening program, this proposal. It's unacceptable to me as the chairman of this agency.
New Jersey Transit and NY-2 are taking matters into their own hands and have implemented a new policy requiring 2 engineers at the front of the train when it's pulling in at the end of a terminal. This way, if one fails to hit the brakes, the other can step in and do that to prevent any future accidents. We're live outside of Penn Station this morning. Lori and Rosanna, over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Liz. Appreciate that. So we have some more interesting news about Steve Wynn, you know, the hotel and casino mogul. He resigned as CEO from his namesake company after allegations of sexual misconduct.
Yeah, Wynn Resorts released a statement last night saying his resignation is effective immediately. Last week, you'll remember the Wall Street Journal reported a number of accusations of harassment and sexual assault, one which even led to a $7.5 million settlement. Wynn denies the allegations and attributes them to a legal battle between him and his ex-wife. Allegations also forced Wynn to resign as finance chair for the Republican National Committee.
So the notorious Mexican drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman will have an anonymous jury at his trial later this year in Brooklyn. Jurors will also be escorted to and from the courthouse by deputy U.S. Marshals and sequestered from the public while inside. Mr. Guzman's lawyer says it will create an unfair impression that his client is dangerous. But prosecutors say it's necessary to keep jurors from being harassed or intimidated. The judge agreed, saying Mr. Guzman's history of using hitmen is sufficient and that the prosecution's concerns are especially appropriate since many allegations involve kidnapping, torture, or the murder of witnesses.
8:14 and 3 immigrants from Indonesia who sought sanctuary in a New Jersey church are back home this morning after a federal judge stopped their deportations. Temporary restraining order allows the men to stay in the United States and then return home to their families and their jobs. It also gives them an opportunity to reapply for asylum. The 3 undocumented Indonesian immigrants were seeking sanctuary in the Reformed Highland Church in Highland Park, New Jersey, to prevent ICE agents from detaining them. The men fled religious persecution, coming to the U.S. in the 90s on tourist visas that eventually expired. They work, pay taxes, and want to legally become U.S. citizens.
American people always saying, when they make mistakes, give them a second chance, and I will make it right.
And you just want the opportunity to make it right.
That's right.
All 3 men and their families say they consider themselves Americans. The judge is expected to make a decision in the next 5 weeks.
Vice President Mike Pence says the U.S. is getting ready to announce its toughest and most aggressive economic sanctions against North Korea.
Yeah, the announcement is expected to be made in the coming days, and just as the Winter Olympics are set to begin tomorrow in South Korea, the Vice President is scheduled to attend Friday's opening ceremonies. Tomorrow, he will meet with defectors from North Korea. Pence says that the U.S. will continue to isolate North Korea until it abandons its nuclear and ballistic missile programs. U.S. officials are not revealing details about the sanctions, but they are expected to start before the end of the Olympic Games. And it is brutally cold right now in Pyeongchang. Officials will distribute a kit to spectators at the opening ceremonies: a blanket, a beanie cap, hot packs for hands and feet, and a poncho.
All right, I don't know if that'll
I don't know
work,
if that's gonna.
but it's, I guess, a good try. Temperatures there were in the single digits earlier today. On Saturday, it was so cold that security scanning machines stopped working and credit card readers actually froze. It's also an issue for the athletes. It's so cold, it's causing skis to warp.
Oh, my goodness.
And the skiers actually have to throw out their skis after they use them because they're warped.
Once
they're crazy.
They can't, yeah.
Yeah, the bent
Can't
skis
straighten them out.
are a problem. But when milliseconds mean gold, everything has to be perfect, and that's why get rid of the skis. I didn't realize you have to come with extra skis.
I didn't know that either.
Mike, did you know that?
No, that's kind of interesting. It sounds like a waste to me. Sounds like an excuse for a new pair of skis. To me, I don't know.
They were hoping it was going to be that cold.
Exactly.
When you're going for the gold, you don't mess around.
You don't mess around. You got to give yourself every advantage you can get. All right. So it's been an interesting morning out there so far. I don't know if you heard the news, but there actually was an earthquake here locally up in Mahopac, northern Westchester County. Looks like it had a magnitude of 2.2. No reports of damage with this, but I'm sure we'll be getting more information in on it. And yeah, it's kind of an interesting day now. Take a look at some of the camera shots. You can now pick up on the snow falling, light to moderate snow falling across the city at this point in time. Things change real quickly with the given situation, but it's snow for now, but it will be changing over to the wintry mix before you know it, and then just rain later on. But right now, 31 degrees with the winds coming in from the east-northeast at around 11 miles per hour. So bands of snow showers have now made their way up in toward Bergen County, Passaic County, and yeah, now heading up into southern Westchester County. The Bronx seeing some light to moderate snow, at least for a little while, but it will be making that change over. You can see the pink shades just to our south there, back near Monmouth County and Middlesex County, and it's starting to slide up in this direction. So this isn't going to stick around in snow for too long, but it could give the ground a quick glaze. Accidents do start happening quickly in a situation like this, but it will then change over to more rainfall as time goes on, unless you're well up to the northwest. That's where it's going to remain as snow for a good period of time. So as we go through the morning, it does change over, but check it out. Even as you head up toward the northwest, it tries to get going with some pretty solid rain, trying to head over toward Sussex County, but chances are it's going to stick around as snow more so than rain, which will be heavy at times. So a quick little dump of heavy wet snow is happening there. Through the rest of the tri-state, well, it's rain, which will get heavy at times with a line of showers and storms that may be crossing the area for the evening commute. So that could be a much bigger problem than what we've seen so far for the morning commute. But then it does get drier and colder. Once we head into tonight and tomorrow morning, the next few mornings are going to be quite cold. High of 40 later this afternoon, so that wintry mix goes to rain later on today. High of only 33 for you tomorrow, 37 for you on Friday, and 48 for you on Saturday, 50 on Sunday. We've got some mild rain coming through at that time. By the way, quick little birthday shout out to Gemma Jolene Zurica. Happy birthday. Looks like a newborn. We're coming to town, so cute as can be. All right, let's bring in Inez right now, see what's going on. Our commute, man, the snow is moving through quickly.
Good morning, Mike. Oh, it definitely is moving. And as you mentioned, you got to watch out for those icy spots. That's quickly going to build. Things on Long Island are fine. It's not snowing out there yet. That's a look at the LA by Lakeville Road. No problems heading eastbound or westbound. Slow on the southern state between the Wantagh and the Meadowbrook. Over on Staten Island, we're okay on the expressway. Because of the weather, there is a speed restriction on the bridges. So just watch out for that. 35 miles per hour on the Goethals Bridge have been put out. Let's go to the Tappan Zee Bridge up in Westchester. Not seeing any snow there. Traffic doing fine right now. Westchester bound Tappan Zee Bridge, the New Jersey Turnpike also doing good as far as the snow coming into the area. The airports, though, make sure you call ahead. There could be delays and cancellations. The FDR Drive, a little tough to see that snow moving in here, but this is what we're seeing flashing lights here. This is the FDR Drive heading northbound in the 20s. There's an accident on the southbound side that's backing things up, so you have a lane closed in each direction. Traffic moving slow around there. That's the FDR Drive at 96th Street. A slow ride heading southbound here. Northbound, we're okay. The Grand Central by LaGuardia. The smooth sailing here, nothing to report. Lori and Rosanna, back to you.
All right, thank you, Inez. Still ahead. First, we take Brooklyn.
Excuse me. Actually, it's a crime drama set to come out on Friday. Some of the stars will be here. We're talking to Danny Abacasser and Annalyn McCord, as well as Charlotte McKinney. Wow, that is some trifecta coming up at 9 o'clock. Don't miss it.
Good Day brought to you by WeatherTech Car Mats and Floor Liners. Shop WeatherTech.com today.